Number 18. A regular tetrahedron is made by fastening together 4 triangles, made from card colored on one side only, as shown in the diagram below. Which one of the following is not a possible view of this tetrahedron when looked at from above? So the first thing we can do is to actually represent our triangle. We have this above viewing, so we are viewing this thing from above, from this point of view. So how can we determine which of these structures is not possible to get from this above diagram? The thing that I recommend is to always put something underneath. In this case, we can put, for example, P underneath. If we put P underneath, we will get that one face will be B, one face will be G, and the other face will be R. So we'll get BGR. So BGR, letter B, can be eliminated, can be excluded. By the way, this is a tetrahedron. I say that is a triangle, but it's a tetrahedron. It is a 3D view of this. If we put together all of these triangles, we will get this 3D view. So the next one can be B, for example, okay? So if we put B underneath, we will get P, G, and R. So in this case, we will get that R is over here. Then we have G, and then we have P. So we have R, P, and G. So letter D can be eliminated. We can see that in this case we have R, G, and P. But we saw that between R and G, between R and G, we have P. So this we can see that this is actually our the answer we are searching for. So we can eliminate letter D, and we have already found the actual answer. But let's continue with by putting, for example, the red underneath, the red below. We will get that these spaces will actually be P, G, and B. P, G, and B. So letter C can be excluded. The last one would be if we put the G underneath. We will get B, R, and P. Because if we put this here underneath, we will get that B would be back here. Would be back here. R would be the second one, and P would be the third one. So we have this type of rotation. And so we can see that our final answer is letter A. Number 19. Alpha, Beta, and Gamma are the 3 political parties in the parliament. There are 360 seats in the parliament. So we can see that the answers actually gives us some pie charts, and a pie chart is actually a circle, and a circle is actually 360 degrees. So each degree in the circle in the pie chart is actually 1 seat in the parliament. So we see that before last week's general election, each party held 120 seats. So each political party had the same number of seats. In the last week's election, there was no change in 216 seats. And then we have what have changed, because in 260 seats we had not see any changes, but we have got some changes over here. Which pie chart suitably labeled shows the current state of the parties in the parliament? So the first thing we can do is to actually calculate how many seats have not changed in this week's election. So we can see that we have 216 seats and we have 3 political parties. So each party maintains this number of seats. So 3 in the 21 stays 7 times, so 21. This gives us 6, so we can see that the number of seats that have not changed is 72. Okay, the next thing we can do is to subtract this number of seats that are the seats that have not changed by the total number of seats in the parliament. And this will give us 144 seats that actually have changed. And then we have a legend of how many seats have changed. So we have alpha, we have alpha, beta, and gamma, okay? So alpha has gained 15, has gained 15 seats from beta, so beta loses these 15 seats. And 23 seats from gamma, so plus 23 minus 23. Next we have beta who gained 31 seats from alpha, so minus 31, and 41 seats from 31 from alpha, and he gained also 41 from gamma. So gamma loses this 41 seats. Lastly, we have gamma, who gained 24 seats from alpha, so alpha also loses this number of seats, and 10 seats from beta, so plus 10 seats from beta, and 10 seats from beta, so beta loses 10 seats. Okay, so at this point we can add this number. We can see that this is 55, so we have minus 55, and this is 38. So if we sum this number up, we get 17 minus 17. Beta gained 71 seats but loses 25. 72 seats but loses 25, so 12, 7, 6 minus 2 is 47, so 47 seats, so plus 47. And lastly we have gamma, who loses 64 seats but gained 34 seats, so in total he loses 30 seats. Okay, at this point we have this number of seats that have changed, so we can actually take this number 144 and divide it again by 3, so we know how many seats for each party has changed, and then we can subtract or add this number by the numbers we get that has changed. So in this case we can see that this is equals to 4. So 12 to okay, so 24, and this is 8. So at this point we can take this number and subtract or add by the parties changed seats. So okay, so at this point we can actually calculate how many seats each party gained or loses in this election. So in this case we can calculate, for example, alpha. We know that alpha gained 48 seats, but it loses 17 seats. So we get a 1. So we get 31 seats that we have to add by 72. So we can calculate the total amount that alpha gained in this election, that is 103. So we can we have to remember this number, that is 103. So at this point we know that alpha actually gained 103. So we know that alpha gained 103 seats. Then next we have beta, who gained 48 plus 47, which is equals to 95, and 72 plus 95 equals to 167 seats. So he has 167 seats in total. So 167. And lastly, we can calculate how many seats gamma has. So minus 30. We get 18. So 72 plus 18, we get a total of 90. So 90. So at this point we have extrapolate every information to actually respond to this question. So we know that 90 degrees, so let's think this in degrees. So we know that 90 degrees is actually, if this is our circle, 90 degrees, we know that has this angle over here. So it's actually a quadrant. So this number is actually a candidate. Then we have this other number that is also a candidate. The others are not candidates because we don't have our right angle, a 90 degrees angle, and we don't have a 90 degrees angle in the A chart. So we are left with letter B and letter E. We can see that we have 167 degrees. If we think about an angle of 180 degrees, a flat angle, we see that represents an half of the total circle. So letter E cannot be because we have an angle, or for better say, we have an angle that is more than 180 degrees. So we can eliminate letter E as well, and our answer would be letter B.